The drama didn't start on the plane. It started the moment Britani repeated the TikTok rumor about Seth Marks's alleged mistress during the yacht dinner on Below Deck Down Under. One tiny comment turned into the spark that set Meredith off long before anyone even touched the airport. Before going deeper into this chaos, make sure you like and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss the rest of this unraveling story. At the Barbados airport, Heather noticed immediately that something was wrong with Meredith. She described her as completely out of her mind before boarding, pacing, emotional, and already spiraling. Angie said the whole group felt uncomfortable as Meredith started yelling and crying in the middle of the airport, and she wasn't even sure Meredith realized how loud she was being. Then came the flight disaster. Britani boarded last and discovered her seat was directly in front of Meredith and Lisa. 8 hours. First class. No cameras. No escape. Heather had just fallen asleep when she woke up to Meredith raging loudly behind her. She wasn't whispering. She wasn't venting. She was heated, emotional, and fully spiraling. Mary explained that Meredith kept replaying Britani's comment about the TikTok over and over again in her mind. She couldn't let it go. She built it up until she snapped, and the spiral didn't stop for hours. Whitney added that Meredith started calling Britani names loudly, clearly, intentionally, and the whole first-class cabin could hear every word. Then things escalated. Whitney said Meredith and Lisa demanded that she and Britani hand over their phones to prove the TikTok existed. Britani, humiliated and overwhelmed, broke into tears. She said she had never been treated like that in her life and couldn't believe it was happening 30,000 feet in the air. But Meredith and Lisa told an entirely different story later. Meredith claimed she never spoke to Britani, never touched her, never confronted her. According to her, she was simply venting quietly to Lisa, and everything else was exaggeration. But the rest of the cast had matching stories, and none of them aligned with Meredith and Lisa's version. Once they landed in Utah, the fallout didn't stop. Britani confronted Lisa directly. She drew a line and told her that if she was siding with Meredith after everything that happened, their friendship wasn't going to survive. Lisa didn't hesitate. She said, "Then I choose Meredith." That one sentence split the cast in half. 2 women on one side of history and everyone else on the other. Britani said she felt lucky to have the rest of the cast supporting her, because only Meredith and Lisa's stories didn't match what anyone else experienced. And Meredith closed it out with a final line. She was sorry Britani's feelings were hurt, sorry she chose the wrong place to vent, but she wasn't sorry for what she said, because she still believed every word was true. After the Utah landing fallout, the tension between the women didn't fade. It grew. Word spread fast through the cast, and the story of the plane incident split into 2 competing realities. On one side, the witnesses describing hours of chaos. On the other, Meredith and Lisa insisting that nothing happened the way the others claimed. The contradiction created a pressure cooker inside the group, and every conversation only made it worse. Heather wanted answers. She met with Lisa to understand how a simple rumor turned into a full-blown emotional explosion. Instead of owning anything, Lisa insisted she was trying to diffuse the situation the entire time. She said she wasn't responsible for Meredith's behavior, and she wasn't going to take blame for something she didn't do. To her, she was simply protecting a friend who was already upset. But Heather wasn't fully convinced. The stories didn't line up. Every person who wasn't Meredith or Lisa painted the same picture: shouting, spiraling, humiliation, and emotional chaos. Yet Lisa continued down a different path, insisting she did nothing but step in between the 2 women. Meanwhile, Britani was trying to process everything. She said the most shocking part wasn't the shouting. It was Lisa choosing Meredith without hesitation. Britani thought their friendship had real loyalty behind it. She expected fairness, at least a conversation. Instead, she got a cold, instantaneous decision that left her stunned. She felt like the plane incident didn't just break trust. It revealed where alliances really stood. Angie stepped in privately with her own observations. She told Britani she wasn't imagining the chaos. She said the rest of the cast saw the same behavior and felt the same discomfort in first class. That validation strengthened Britani's determination to stand her ground instead of backing away. For the first time, she felt united with the rest of the group, except the 2 women who kept denying everything. Whitney added another layer. She explained that the intensity in Meredith's voice on the plane wasn't just anger. It felt personal, targeted, and relentless. Whitney said if someone talked about rumors involving her own marriage, she wouldn't spiral for hours. She'd address it and move on. But Meredith's reaction felt out of proportion, almost like the rumor touched something deeper than she wanted to admit. Mary, as always, delivered blunt honesty. She said she had seen women break down before, but not like that. To her, Meredith looked like someone holding on to hurt she didn't want others to see. She said it felt like Britani unintentionally pressed a bruise Meredith had been covering for a long time. Whether the rumor was true or not, Mary believed the pain underneath it was real. Meanwhile, Lisa felt attacked by the entire group. She told Heather she was tired of being blamed for things she didn't say or do. She wanted the narrative to shift. She wanted accountability placed on the right shoulders, namely, Britani's. In Lisa's eyes, Britani started the chaos by choosing to bring up a rumor in public, and everyone else was ignoring that part of the story. But Britani didn't agree. She said repeating a rumor wasn't the same as exploding at someone for hours. She wasn't accusing Seth. She wasn't stirring trouble. She was referencing something that was already circulating online. To her, the responsibility fell on Meredith for reacting the way she did, and on Lisa for enabling it. Slowly, the group began choosing sides. Some felt Meredith was triggered beyond reason. Others felt Britani wasn't wrong for bringing up what everyone already knew. And some, like Heather, believed there was a deeper truth buried beneath the emotion, something about the Marks' marriage that none of them had been told yet. But the more the cast talked, the clearer one thing became. This wasn't just about a TikTok rumor. It wasn't just about a plane incident. This was a spark igniting everything the women had been holding back for years. As the conversations continued, the tension inside the group reached a boiling point. Every woman had a different angle, a different memory, and a different emotional investment in what actually happened that night. The truth felt fractured, and every attempt to piece it together only exposed more cracks in the friendships. Whitney finally gathered the courage to confront Meredith directly. She wanted clarity. She wanted the truth. But Meredith stayed firm in her version of events. She insisted she never spoke to Britani, never lashed out, never caused any scene. To Meredith, the others were exaggerating or misinterpreting a moment of frustration. She refused to budge an inch. That refusal created a new wave of frustration. The other women exchanged looks, confused, angry, exhausted. They felt gaslit. They felt ignored. And for the first time, the cast wasn't just divided. It was emotionally worn down by the constant contradictions. Britani, still shaken by the humiliation, decided she wasn't going to allow her story to be dismissed. She spoke with the group again, explaining how the plane incident made her feel powerless and trapped. She said the denial hurt almost as much as the shouting. Not because she wanted an apology, but because she wanted acknowledgement that what she lived through was real. Angie backed her up. Heather backed her up. Whitney backed her up. Even Mary, who rarely sides with group drama, said she remembered the intensity clearly. One by one, the cast members formed a line of witnesses who weren't willing to rewrite what they experienced. Meanwhile, Lisa doubled down even harder. She didn't want to be painted as the villain or as Meredith's accomplice. She insisted she had nothing to apologize for, and she wasn't going to change her story just to fit in with the group. Her loyalty to Meredith overpowered any attempt to mend things with Britani or anyone else. The tension eventually erupted in a group conversation where everything came spilling out. Voices raised. Accusations flew. The women argued not just about the plane incident, but about trust, loyalty, truth, and the years of unresolved issues that had been simmering beneath the surface. Heather finally stepped in and told them what none of them wanted to hear. Everyone was so determined to be right that they stopped listening to each other. She reminded them that the show only works when the truth is shared, even when it's messy, even when it hurts, and especially when the group is divided beyond repair. For a moment, the room fell silent. That silence carried more weight than any shouting match they'd had all season. Britani took a breath and said she wasn't looking for revenge. She wasn't looking to embarrass anyone. She simply wanted her experience validated. She wanted to feel safe in the group again. and she wanted Lisa to understand why the words, "I choose Meredith," hit so deeply. Lisa, stiff but steady, repeated her stance. She said she wasn't responsible for anyone else's emotions, and she made the choice she believed was right. Whether anyone agreed with it or not wasn't her concern. Meredith closed the conversation with a final statement. She said she was sorry if the place she chose to vent caused pain. She was sorry if her timing was wrong, but she wasn't sorry for defending her marriage, her boundaries, or her truth. She believed the rumor was harmful. She believed the conversation crossed a line, and she wasn't going to apologize for reacting. In the end, the group didn't walk away united. They didn't reconcile their stories. They didn't agree on a single version of what happened. Instead, they walked away with lines drawn, relationships shaken, and loyalties revealed. But one thing was certain. The plane incident wasn't just a moment of chaos. It was the turning point of the season. The moment that exposed hidden alliances, buried emotions, and the truth everyone had been avoiding. That sometimes the real turbulence doesn't happen in the sky. It happens between the people who swear they're friends,